Google has just announced two really interesting smartphones, devices that are in a lot of ways, including their price, completely mid-range, but in some key areas, pretty much the best money can buy. So this is the package Google sent over, and in this video we're going to do a first impressions comparison between the devices in this box and Apple's iPhone XR. So immediately when we open the package, we're going to see two devices, the Google Pixel 3a and the Google Pixel 3a XL. In this lower compartment, we've got the retail boxes, what you would actually buy if you went into a store and picked one up. And right out of the box, there are a couple of differences worth noting. The Pixel 3a phones come with an 18-watt fast charger compared to just 5 watts on the iPhone XR. The Pixel also comes with a quick switch adapter, which if you're coming from an Android phone, means you can transfer a lot of your data very quickly. The iPhone does win a point in terms of earphones being included in the box. Alright, so one of the main selling points of this Pixel 3a is it's really rather affordable. It starts at £399 and goes up to $469 for the XL model. With the XR starting at $749, there's enough of a price difference here that these phones shouldn't really even be comparable, and yet in a lot of ways they really are. To give the iPhone some credit though, its design exudes class, at least from the rear. The phone is encased in glass, and it completely trumps the cheaper feeling polycarbonate Pixel phones. But Google's decision to use plastic does mean that the Pixels are noticeably lighter. Oh yeah, and they also have headphone jacks. I would class both the 3a XL and the iPhone XR as bulky feeling phones, but at the same time I really like how the standard base 3a fits in the hand. It feels refreshingly petite, and you don't really have any problem reaching most of the screen. The Pixel 3a is also one of the cheapest phones in the world to use a stereo speaker setup, and to give you an idea of its quality, here's a quick side-by-side. It's worth pointing out that Google has also made the standard concessions when it comes to their mid-range phones. The Pixels don't support wireless charging, and they don't have any kind of IP rating, but the iPhone does have IP67. Cameras, and both phones are some of the few devices left with just a single camera on the back, but you really don't feel like you're compromising. The iPhone has a 12 megapixel sensor, and it takes beautifully balanced photos on both the front and the back camera. It can do portrait mode on both, and can also record 4K video at 60 frames per second, this being one of its main advantages over the Pixel, which is limited to 30. The Google camera, from a software perspective, is a little smarter. You've got Top Shot that allows you to pick a different pose or smile after you've taken a photo, and the Pixel can use motion autofocus to make sure that any given object continues to remain in focus. Neither phone has a telephoto lens, but Google can actually use software to simulate it, and whilst it's not as good as having an optical zoom, it's better than you might think. I've got a more detailed camera comparison video coming very soon, so stay tuned for that, but as a quick summary, both take amazing photos, and the Pixel 3a is going to blow the iPhone away at nighttime with its dedicated night sight feature, but the iPhone has more capable video. Okay, so whilst the Pixel 3a is not super expensive, it's also not particularly cheap, and my first impression when I picked it up was that I wish the bezels were a little bit smaller. The 3a XL is a really large phone considering it's only got an average sized 6-inch display. The same is true for the iPhone. A chunky bezel runs around the whole phone, which combined with a notch up top, makes for a somewhat restricted viewing experience. I am kind of relieved that Google has made sure that both of these Pixels have OLED displays, whilst the iPhone is stuck with an LCD. The Pixels are higher resolution too, although bear in mind that as far as LCDs go, the iPhone XR is one of the best, so the difference isn't as drastic as you might think. Overall, I don't love the front of either of these phones, although considering the price difference, Google's offering is more excusable. You probably know that the iPhone comes with Apple's Face ID, which scans your face with a failure rate of about 1 in a million. Google doesn't have an equivalent secure face scanner, but in its place you do get a fingerprint scanner on the back, which is well positioned and fast, although not as secure as Face ID. Alright, so to get one thing out of the way, I'm a huge fan of Google's software skin, and whilst the hardware is not quite flagship grade on this phone, the software absolutely is. The Pixel 3a runs Android 9 out the box, with zero bloatware. There are literally 20 applications in the entire system here, and one of them is the settings. You can squeeze the phone to activate Google Assistant. The phone has an always-on display, something that the iPhone still can't do, and Google is going to use these phones to trial augmented reality maps. Very much still a beta feature though. What's also pretty cool is Now Playing, that picks up on any music around you and tells you what it is without you needing to do anything. You're also getting 3 years guaranteed minimum of software and security updates. So if you think about it, that's all the way up to Android 12, which as far as Android phones go, is amazing. Having said that, Apple users can usually expect 5 years worth of upgrades anyways, and it's worth remembering that iOS also has some great unique features, like AirDrop for transferring files between Apple products, and this works like absolute magic. You've also got native high-quality screen recording, but the Pixel should also be getting this in its Android 10 update. We've already seen that the charger that comes with the 3A easily outmuscles the one that comes with the iPhone XR, but it also combines this with a larger battery. The 3A's is slightly larger, but the 3A XL's significantly so. But when you factor in just how much better iOS is at managing the battery, I would place the XR roughly in between the 3A and the 3A XL for real-world endurance. Power, though, is one area where the Pixel is completely trounced. The iPhone runs Apple's A12 Bionic chip, which still provides comparable performance to top-tier flagships. The Pixel, though, is powered by the Snapdragon 670, released at roughly the same time as the A12, but noticeably in a lower class. So which phone do you think is a winner? So far at least, I'm completely floored at how this phone's camera performs, and you're going to see more about that very soon in a detailed camera comparison. My name is Aaron, this is Mr. Who's the Boss, and I'll catch you in the next one.